when we make a video like this that says whether Mexico is safe or unsafe, are we saying go or don't go? We don't tell people don't go to Mexico, it's unsafe. Ooh, you know, we don't tell people go to Mexico, it's safe. We're not saying any of those things. What we're saying is we're tired of people saying things like eat a triple burger with bacon because it's healthy, because it's got a piece of lettuce in it and a tomato. It's good for you. You know, I mean, some people that don't know any better are going to believe that, and they're going to, you know, be eating those hamburgers. And other people are going to know better, and they're going to say, well, you know, or those that want to know more, they don't know better, but at least they want to know more. And of course, I like to get information from a variety of sources. So I'm going to give you three different ideas here about how to understand or make sense out of all the information out there about whether Mexico is safe or isn't safe.
We're lost in Tijuana again.
¿Cuántas cuadras, pero? ¿Cuántas cuadras? ¿Cuántas cuadras más? International is up above there, so we're not on international. That's how it happened. We got off of it. We need that road. This is some side road that probably isn't really a road. Dicey down here.
Yeah, it does.
San Diego Aeropuerto. Yeah, we need to be up there. So I don't think we went far enough.
I remember
this last time we came underneath the pass and then followed somebody back out. Okay, well, I'll just turn around here then.
Is there an on-ramp over there?
We're lost in Tijuana again.
Right here. Yeah, let's go right and do like this.
We're lost in Tijuana. the car behind us keeps honking at us.
Oh, it's one way.
It doesn't say it's one way. This is the thing with Tijuana. The streets are really crazy here.
I don't want to get on a highway like this. Oh. Go around. Put your arm out.
The Mexicans are a little bit aggressive when they drive.
I think we need to go another street. This is definitely getting away from the highway over there. I think we go this way. Window down.
Disculpa. Oh, he's on the phone. Disculpa. Para ir a...
He's telling you to follow him.
Okay.
We know we can always find somebody to follow. We do it every time when we in Tijuana. Lost no more.
¿Dónde?
Playas de Tijuana.
Playas de Tijuana.
Llega en playas, el camino, playas, Rosarito, Ensenada. Hay más placa, más adelante. Aquí hay
Muchas gracias.
That was nice of him to help us like that. He went out of his way to bring us to this part.
A flip. Or you can just have someone do it for you every time.
We're Frank and Angie living in Latin America. We sold everything and moved to Latin America. We've been here 8 years and we've been hacking our lives abroad by living very well, or as well as we possibly can, in the location we're in. So why do you think that Mexico is safe, or why do a lot of people think that it's safe, or why are there so many videos saying how safe a place is? You know, I mean, it's such a broad statement, Mexico safe, Mexico not safe. There are certain ways where a country that is generally speaking not safe, that it could be safe specifically in certain areas. And of course I like to get information from a variety of sources. And there's three things, and one of them is that I get my information usually from locals. Like, for example, when I was in Quito, I met a Mexican that was visiting Ecuador at the hostel we were staying at, and I asked him about Mexico City. He said, well, you know, and I quizzed him at length, and he said, yeah, well, the tourist center is relatively safe. It's policed, but once you get outside of that, you've got your robberies, your muggings, your shootings, your burglaries, everything, you know. So pretty much a total different picture than the actual tourist center. A lot of times what you hear is people saying it's safe based on the fact that they're in the tourist center. Like in Cuenca, if you go to the tourist center, you know, that's where you have the most policing, that's where you have the most vigilance, and even so, that does not mean there is no crime in the tourist center, you know, against those that are not vigilant and not careful. You can still be robbed in broad daylight in the tourist center, even though there's more, you know, policing. The idea that you should say that a place is safe, a whole country is safe, or even to say that the tourist center is safe, is kind of not really completely accurate. You have to always understand the location you're going and always understand that you're always at risk no matter what. Although the risk might be minimized in a particular area, it's still there, like in the center. So in the center of Cuenca, yeah, it's relatively safe. Or Mexico City's tourist center is relatively safe. This is what this Mexican told me, and this was years ago when we were in Quito. That's why in the second thing on the list that I want to discuss regarding making sense out of whether a place like Mexico is safe or not, and that is getting your information from only one source. And I've kind of hinted around a little bit already, but I was talking to this Mexican guy in Quito, but I also was listening to some Mexico news on the news in Spanish, not in English, not from a, you know, some travel agency or something. And so I tend to get my information from a variety of different sources, and I love going to the locals and going to local news sources and that kind of thing to get my information. And so, are you getting your information from one YouTube channel? Are you getting your information only from YouTube channels? You know, it is possible if you watch the right channel, no names mentioned, there are certain channels, okay, I won't point fingers at our channel, but the thing is there sometimes are minority channels that get their information, as I've just said, from a variety of sources and will bring you the actual facts of the matter. And what is the fact of the matter? Do we say Mexico is not safe? Do we say it is safe? We cannot say that Mexico is safe or is not safe. What we can say, it's relatively safe in some of the tourist areas, and it is unsafe outside the tourist areas. But generally speaking, it doesn't matter. You still are going to have to pay attention to what you're doing regardless of where you are. So, you know, that's number two. So number one was the tourist center issue. Number two was, do you get your information from one source? And then number three is, just say cliches like crime is everywhere, or I'm just going to go in a small town and it's going to be safer, nothing ever happens, just all of these things that people say. You need to understand the general idea of the difference between where you're from and where you're going. And that's what it comes down to, having a good grasp of the differences in how to stay out of that category that gets targeted. You know, some people don't really, they don't really want to know the facts. They're in denial, and you have different categories of people in this category, and you have a lot of times you have pumpers and promoters and people that have vested interests, and we talk a lot about that kind of thing. And then you have locals that think that they're, you know, it's some sort of personal issue, which it isn't. It has nothing to do with that. You know, people just want to, you know, be informed and know everything there is to know. So that's why we make videos like this for you that you want to know more. You want to know more about it, and you want to know more facts. And you don't want to just hear pumping videos that tell you that everything is beautiful and everything's perfect. At the same token, does it mean that it has to crush your dreams? No, it doesn't. And that's the bottom line. We don't tell you go, don't go, and therefore it doesn't have to be a dream crusher, because ultimately you can minimize risk by being in tourist areas. They are more expensive, you know, and there are other things you can do, like which are a little bit deeper, like knowing the language. But even so, you know, that's still risky to go outside of tourist areas. It takes a certain kind of individual to be able to be a little more comfortable in riskier areas. When you get your information from different sources, then you can put a real picture together. You know, I spent a little bit of time in Mexico City, and yeah, I mean, you got to stay alert, and there was cops all over, but you know, I was just right there in the center. I wouldn't just start venturing out thinking I could just go here and there and just not paying any attention to anything. I mean, I just... But again, you know, you can start mapping out ways to minimize the risk, and I'm saying it that way to say that all you're doing is minimizing the risk. You're never really removing it 100%, as is the way things are done from these channels that try to make it sound as if everything is, I mean, there's absolutely no risk whatsoever. I mean, it's just